I was here a month ago. There's a couple hundred people out here. I couldn't get in. But the recorder came out 3 or 4 times, and he told everyone, there's not any room, we're over capacity, we will have a meeting at the high school. We want to serve everyone.
Then we got
Now, guys, Mr. Mayor, I believe if you could have stepped out and addressed everyone, it would have been great for everyone to hear you speak. But that didn't happen. But if that was said, then why in the world are we not going to meet and talk specifically? I mean, bring it out in the, Mr. Skip O'Neill here had such great advice. Have transparency, please. If we can trust you, we're going to get along. We're all adults. And, we are praying for you. We're praying for the leadership. That's what we're supposed to do by my Lord and Savior.
So let me ask this question. Is there anybody in the room that would like to speak in favor of any of this? Anyone?
In favor of what, sir?
In favor of being able for Parks and Rec to do their job? No, they don't want Parks and Rec to do their job. Tracy?
You're going to try to bring it out, and then we
Dr. Calhoun, you had an article recently. Anything you'd like to add?
No, I'm just here to see how things work.
Okay.
I don't understand half the points being made.
Okay. Are you done, Doc?
I'm done.
Okay.
So to follow up with her and to speak to the Parks and Rec. I don't know how many take the Tribune, I don't, but it was on the front page Saturday.
Right.
How the Parks and Rec, as a realtor, how is Parks and Rec, how's that working?
You're going to go to the two pieces related to
Absolutely.
housing. Okay. And I can help you understand that because as they've done for several years now, anytime there's a subdivision that is of any size, they need to be at the table to try to convince that developer to include green space and parkland. Does it usually work? Not very often. But right now, if you walk in and tell me you've got a buyer, Mark, that wants to do a 100-acre project that is not connected to any of this, in that process, Parks and Rec can't go to the table. That's where Park and Rec comes in when it comes to housing. They're not trying to develop housing. They're trying to make sure that you as a realtor, they're trying to make sure
But that's not the way this reads.
I cannot help how it reads because I didn't write the article.
As a citizen, that looks like a backdoor.
That's a back.
And I can't help you on that piece because I didn't write the article.
That is printed.
So-
I mean, this was in the same, same edition that Doc's
Mhm.
verbiage is in there. But I mean, as a citizen, when you read this, that because they might be at the table as, hey, let's put some green space there.
Yes, that's
But
what
this
they're at the
says
table for.
Developing new affordable trailside communities and the creation of a new neighborhood to include park space. So that is one of their 6.
They're trying to make sure they're there to make sure that green space and parkland is included in the conversation.
I think every citizen would agree that should be happening.
Well, right now it can't though, Mark. That's where the
Well,
problem lies.
It could through an ordinance.
So if another developer.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, Chip.
Man, that's a fairy tale if you believe no one can talk about this because no one's, and the resolution against the Brookings. That's hogwash.
Yeah.
You guys have talked about it.
Okay,
tonight.
so which of the 13 items do you want to allow to work on, Chip?
Nothing from Brookings.
Okay, but you just said that you wanted to include that.
Can I just,
Park space is not specifically Brookings.
so can I ask just a quick question? I mean, would it, to you all here tonight, would it make sense that we put together an interlocal agreement with Jackson County commissioners and this legislative board as well to develop a strategy and examine the data that drove different decisions that we're not in support of?
No, because you
No.
fumbled the ball.
Why don't we fix what we got?
What we have here are some serious trust issues.
Yeah.
Mayor,
Yeah.
you should have these trust issues too, right? Because back in September of last year, you laid this out, right? I mean, you presented it. You and I had a minute and a half conversation a month later. Nobody else got in the conversation. Mr. Blish, congratulations, you weren't there. You're safe, you two are with it. So, all of a sudden, this executive report, which is basically the same thing that was given out in September. Mr. Story, you said we need this executive report before the meeting even shows up, though. You've got a resolution saying that we don't agree with it. So can you tell me how in a 6 months time frame, you didn't have a problem with it before, 6 months later, now, we gotta stop it. Then you come back 2 weeks later and you say, well, maybe there's some good stuff in there. And now you're telling us that you're committed to looking at this. 8 months later, you're committed to looking at this. I don't think you are. I don't think you can find time. Mayor, can you answer a question for me? I heard a rumor, and I just want to make sure that you can dispel it or confirm it.
Fire away, Brett.
In the winter workshop, did you have a councilman ask you if maybe we could just have one council meeting a month?
Not that I remember, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Do you remember, Mr. Story?
I don't.
You don't remember coming into my place of business and telling me about it?
I do not.
That you thought it would be a good idea to maybe only have these meetings once a month so you could have more time to not do anything?
To not do
You don't
it.
remember that conversation?
No, I do not.
Anybody in the winter workshop, was there any conversation about that?
I'll say, I don't remember it, Brett, but that doesn't mean anything, so. Okay,
You've attended so many of these meetings that are 7 minutes long, right? Right?
Oh, yeah.
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 And in the event that there is not topics to discuss, I think that we should in fact take the time to study on the ones that do have topics to
Right,
discuss.
so you've had 8 months to study and you've done none. None.
I'm not sure how many of the city council members elected and the elected mayor, I'm not sure how many are aware of the recent unanimous decision by the Jackson County Commissioners, expressed in a letter sent to the city of Seymour, to not support the items on the Burkhart Opportunity Zone agenda.
okay. Last thing I've got for y'all is May 22nd.
I need to say something. We've tabled, it feels like, Jerry stood up, Jerry Loper, and expressed that we need another meeting at the high school.
Absolutely.
That's why we're all here, part of
I want
it.
it to stay dead, don't open it up for another discussion.
Yet, it feels to
It
me
opens it
like
back
we're
up.
kind of dismissing that and we're not hearing any.
I'm gonna quote the gentleman behind you. If you want it to stay dead, don't open it for another discussion.
Yeah, it opens it all back up and
I mean-
it starts all anew.
I know, but you guys come back with a park and rec, we're gonna do this, and then they worm in a little bit over here and a little bit over here because it's trickery. It's trickery. All of it is trickery from the devil. And you know what? That's what happens when you call it dead, and then here we're reading this stuff in the paper, and then you turn around and we got, the park and rec. You know, it's not gonna stop there. Everybody will say it's dead, but in all reality, they'll wanna keep it going. Cause you're already talking about trails again. I mean, I'll tell you what, if you do get a trail, name one that is Lake and Ryan Way, okay? Name one of them Lake and Ryan Way.
Sir, do you know how many miles of trails we currently have in the city of Seymour? I mean, you're telling me trails are horrible. Trails are good for our economy. Trails are good for our city. They're good for our citizens' health. But you're telling me that it's the work of the devil.
What's good for our health is keeping people that aren't vetted from coming over here and piling in our community.
Okay.
If you want to talk about health,
So May 22nd, there's a council meeting. It's a Memorial Day, by the way. Would you guys like to meet on Memorial Day? You want to go the day after? What's the will of the council?
Does it need to be in a motion?
Yeah, whatever you decide to do. You can discuss it first, though.
day.
Ours.
I'm concerned the day after would be better, but
I agree with the day after.
Make a
I'm
motion.
here,
I'll make a motion to postpone it to the day after Memorial Day on that Tuesday then.
I will say, Mayor, just as a scheduling thing to take note, BZA meets at 7 PM that night also.
we'll move them to the other.
Move that mic a little closer to you, please.
Is that better? No, my motion was to move it till the day after Memorial Day.
So May
Tuesday.
23rd, is that what it is?
28th.
May 22nd.
28th.
May 22nd's a Wednesday. Hang on, I got the wrong date wrote down.
27th is Memorial Day.
27th, okay, sorry. I can't read the handwriting.
So be moving it to the 28th.
Moving it to the 28th.
Mr. Blish has made a motion to move the council meeting that was scheduled Memorial Day to the following Tuesday, May 28th. Is there a second?
Second.
Where at?
Right here.
Second.
Okay, I got Brad. Mr. Blish,
Yes.
Mr. Hackney,
Yes.
Mr. Hubbard,
Yes.
Mr. Davidson,
Yes.
Mr. Lucas.
Yes.
Mr. Story.
Yes.
So that council meeting will be moved to May 28th, 7 PM.
That's a Wednesday?
No, that's a
Oh, he
Tuesday.
had the wrong date. It's
Sorry,
the day-
I had the wrong,
day
I
after
couldn't read my
Memorial Day.
handwriting.
Don't we have a meeting that night?
It's here, be here.
Would it be possible to publish whatever Parks and Rec is trying to do to put complete, I don't know if that's feasible or not. So I've had conversation with some people, but would it be possible to put, whether it be social media or whatever, this is the actual copy of the,
The actual letter when they get it drafted,
or
yes.
whatever, so
Yeah,
that
I
way we
think that
put
would
some of
be-
that to rest?
Yeah, no, I think that would be feasible. They were working on drafting the letter, last week, so I don't know where it
I
stands.
think that would settle a lot
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, we can share that.
Is that this letter?
No. Well, I say it's not. If it is, you got a copy before I did. Because I saw a draft late last week, so.
Mr. Mayor, may I say something? Since the last meeting, I've noticed some things in the paper. See what I've got circled there? Over half of this page. I'm sure most of you've seen it. Half of this page. Sounds to me like, if you read it, this person is supportive of what they're trying to do out there. I've read this 2 or 3 times, and nowhere in there can I find the word illegal. Well, I take that back. She mentions it one time in this context. Let's see, okay, here it is. This major, we have many mounted on an illegal, undocumented immigration pin. It's because we have an archaic immigration policy from the Reagan area on which no one has done anything substantial. Blaming it on Reagan.
Sir, what's the article?
It's on the opinion page. It's on the opinion page.
Also,
Okay.
Wants to know what the article.
Yeah, what's the article? Because I'm sorry, I can't read it
It's
from the
We Are
start.
Better Than That by Nancy Frank.
Okay.
Frank.
It's so it was a letter to the editor, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Saturday, I believe.
This week it goes Saturday, I think.
Wednesday, April the 3rd. And the last statement on that, I will add, is We Are Better Than That is what the name of it is. We can still bring our community to an exceptional letters in spite of who is behind the development plans, Soros and Bill Gates, which is crazy.
Soros and Bill Gates wasn't on there.
Right.
And this,
No,
this,
but
this one more. and the good doctors in the house that wrote this. Assimilation is key. It's an admirable letter to the editor. Nowhere in there is the term illegal immigrant. I believe he came here legally. He's been good for the community. Those kind of people we want. My issue is with the illegal so-called immigrant.
Amen.
I got a couple more, but they'll wait.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
1 second, I got one more.
I would like to thank this gentleman for taking the time to read. I was an English major. I have spent my entire life, my adult life, teaching people how to read, write, and speak. Not just in the English language, but also in Spanish as well. I speak Spanish. I am bilingual. But I would like to thank him immensely for being involved and having a tangible piece of print that he can touch and feel and see that it is real. And one final thing I would like to thank him for is reading the context of those words, of what he did see and what he did not see in print. And on that thought, as an English major, there are 3 words that are interchangeably used, but they do not mean the same. Immigrant, migrant, and alien. Migrants are people that go to a country on a legal work or green visa for a specific agricultural time and period in which to grow and harvest crops. That is a migrant. An immigrant is a person who goes and crosses international borders with international permission from the nation in which he or she wishes to enter. And an alien is a person who crosses international borders and violates international security without the legal permission, as in the Constitution of the United States of America.
Amen.
Chad.
You know, I think most people here are Republicans. And I believe they're conservative. And I believe they voted for you. And now, it's almost like, well, we're gonna accept these illegals. They're criminals. They came in this country illegally. They broke our law. They broke the border at the bottom of our country. And the problem of it is that we have Hamas who hates us. We got jihadists who hate us. Houthis who hate us. We got China who hates us. We got all these countries who hate us, and we don't know who's coming here. And you all just gonna invite the enemy with a different ideology. They wanna have their caliphate. They're already here. We know it. But you know what? You're gonna make this city a sanctuary city and have them push them out of Chicago and bring them down here. But you know what? They put them in the black community. They put them in the black community. They're always trying to. The Democrat Party's always done that. But the thing of it is that I don't even know who to vote for anymore, because the Republican Party is changing their pronouns apparently. Because this is ridiculous. We do not want it. And I grew up in Jefferson County, and I moved to this county, and then I hear about this illegal immigrants are going to have a community in this city. It's already got plenty of probably undocumented people. Let's get the best. And we don't want to hear it. You're supposed to be representing us because you're a Republican. And I'm a Republican. And I vote Republican, but I will only vote for a Christian who believes in the Pledge of Allegiance that says we're under this republic, not democracy. We're not a democracy, we're a republic. And that's where the Republicans started, the Republican Party. And that's why I'm a conservative, I'm a Christian conservative, and I don't like to raise my voice. And I respect every one of you. And I've heard great things about Jim Lucas. I think there's a great respect that I'm getting. But you know what? We all need to learn every one we're voting for. Instead of going to the polls and looking at that paper and we don't know half the names on there, we need to know who we're voting for. And you know what? We're gonna hold each one of these accountable. We're gonna hold them accountable, and if they bring this garbage in the city, we're gonna make sure they're out.
Chad. Chad.
First of all, most of our park board is back there in the back of the room. Thank you guys for being here, but not for that reason. This Wednesday at 5 o'clock, they are having memorial at Shields Park on behalf of Steve Combs. So I thank the park board for initiating that and getting that done. Thank you guys.
That it?
Back to you, sir.
I would just like to say out of due respect, we do pray and respect our leaders. That's why we're here. I work in an environment with children. We care. That's why we're here. We care. We care about our children and our grandchildren in this community and them being safe.
Brookings does it.
I work in a school where these children, you don't know where they're going or where they're being trafficked or what's happening anymore. And this is a small town, and we should have the comfort and peace knowing that our children and our grandchildren are safe. That's all we are asking for here. That's the only reason why we are here.
It's too late unless we ship
We
them
are
out.
not here to fight you. We are not here to be out of order. We need you. We need to trust you. And that's why we're here. And we need our children to be safe. That's all I have to say. That's the reason I'm here. So I can lay down my head at night and know that my 12 grandchildren are safe in their homes and in their schools. And that the people that we have put in office, we have trust for. Trust is everything. As an adult, we know that trust is the most important thing we have in any relationship. But much more for those who are leading our nation and our local places and our schools. It's important. And so we pray for you. We hope that you make right decisions for us and for our children. And we hope that what you're thinking about is safety.
I just want to say one thing real quick, and I'm not going to attack anybody, but I'm a strong believer in God. I'm not one of these that want to run around and preach at things. I like to have quiet time of reflection with God, and I just want to say that you standing up and giving the definition of the three people. And I want to say that I've been in management in this town for 2 distribution centers here. I've had to work side by side with Hispanics that are in this community. I've had to manage them. They have been the best group of people that I've ever had to work with that showed me nothing but total respect. And you can lynch me afterwards, that's fine. I would like to say what I want to say, okay? Because to define those 3 definitions that she gave, you cannot define that person by looking at them.
Absolutely.
You do not know who they are when you look at them in the street. You do not know who they are when they're working side by side, whether they're legal or not. I just found out recently in the last couple of days that our Homeland Security has a system in place for employers to check people, and that isn't even secure. There are even people coming in illegally, working illegally, that employers have been given this system to use and have found out that it's not sufficient either. So every pathway that you are coming under attack for, all of you, every pathway of what is happening, and I feel like all of you are well aware of what's going on in our country right now. It's all stemming from our federal government. Those are the people we can't trust. And there's such a distrust in our government that I hope all of you just don't get angry. Don't let your egos come in. Don't get offended. But we have to know that we, in a small community, can trust you.
Yes.
none of us probably, any of us can trust our government. I don't even want to vote in November because I hate both of the candidates that's running. We've seen them and I'm disgusted that this is what the two parties have given us. The two parties have failed us miserably. But am I going to blame everybody that's sitting here for what's going on in our federal government? Let's just make this a time of reflection that when you see somebody that looks different from you, don't automatically assume that that person's here illegally. And for those of you that I've heard so many nasty things in the last month that I'm disgusted sometimes to say that I'm a part of this community. Do not take offense to what I'm saying. But I stand here and I listen to people talk about God, and then I sit here and I listen and have seen some disgusting things being written on Facebook coming out of our community. And these are about people that I have worked with that I'm telling you I would take all of them and manage them. If I had a choice, they would be my people. When we went through COVID, the company that I was working for at the time, there is no way we would have survived COVID without the Hispanics in this community. They showed up for work every day. They worked their asses off. They'd come in at 4 o'clock in the evening, and they'd be there until 8 o'clock in the morning, and then coming up to me and saying, "Hey, Heidi, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need?" I can still stay. I can still work. And white people, Americans, complaining to me within an hour of their shift because, oh God, we're going to have to work overtime again. It was a tough time, but we wouldn't have survived without him. So let's just take some time of reflection. Take some time with God. Y'all say you believe in God. Let's just take some time with him and let's be quiet with him for a while. Because sometimes what you think and what you believe isn't what God is thinking and what God's believing or even what he is seeing. So I just wanted to have a say for the people in this community that everybody has assumed should be bussed up and kicked out. Because who is that? You don't know who that person is. You don't know them when you look at them.
Illegal.
Can I make a motion to adjourn? That's not what I'm saying. You just didn't hear one word that I said. If you can sit there and turn around and say illegal is illegal. I'm not supporting illegals in this community at all. I'm saying that the ugliness and the hate is everybody's getting thrown in the same bucket.
You have to understand, you're talking about people having to work over and they have to go home. They might have kids that are getting neglected at school.
I'm not saying that. You did not listen to what I just said. What I said.
Can I make a motion to adjourn?
Yeah. Got a second?
Willing to go to
Motion and a second to adjourn. Meeting adjourned.